Wonder Woman, starring Linda Carter, and Incredible Hulk, starring Bill Bixby, will return at their regular times next Friday evening on most of these stations.
Hiya, boys and girls. I've got a great show for you today, and you're going to like it.
Hi, guy!
Oh, two of you. Oh,
That's my boy. Hey, you got a new right guard roll-on.
That's my right guard roll-on with the new wider ball.
I use my mom's.
Oh, right guard's better.
That's right, son.
Yeah? Yeah. You can't buy better wetness protection than this right guard.
Bye? Bye?
Don't do that.
Bye, guy.
Mona.
Right guard roll-on. Don't get dressed without it.
Escape! Come on over to Royal Crown Cola. It's a mad, 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 mad cola. RC, the one with the mad, mad taste. Better shake that cola drag. Check the one that's really mad. It's a mad, 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 mad cola. RC, the one with the mad, mad taste. RC.
Uh-oh, look at him now. He's really had it. Head is aching, stomach's jumping.
I'll feel worse tomorrow.
What you need is some Alka-Seltzer. You know what they always say.
Yeah, eat, drink, and be merry for tomorrow.
Oh, no. I mean about Alka-Seltzer. Relief is just a swallow away.
Wow.
Down, 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 the stomach through. Round, 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 the system too. With Alka-Seltzer, they always say, relief is just a swallow away.
Pardon me, sir. Have you made a New Year's resolution?
Yes. Always keep Alka-Seltzer handy.
And remember, take it before you go to bed. Alka-Seltzer.
Everybody out! Run out! Get busy!
Don't worry. They're wearing Dickies work clothes. Dickies are shape sets, never need ironing. Made with soil release finish so they come clean with one washing. Fortified with Fortrel, the stay neat polyester fiber that makes them wear longer. If Dickies can make the Three Stooges look good, imagine how great you'll look.
Some people love cola so much they can't stop drinking it. And for them, there's RC. With RC, you get a great cola taste that's easy on the syrup, easy on the gas. So it doesn't feel like too much. Right, OJ? RC, a great cola taste that's easy on the syrup, easy on the gas. For people like O.J. Simpson, who can't stop drinking cola.
Grape Nuts breakfast time.
Good. Crunchy little nuggets bursting with nut sweet flavor.
Well, first we got to exercise them.
Do we have to?
Now, that's our agreement. We got to keep slim and trim. It helps to eat the right kind of foods like a post-Grape Nuts breakfast.
I do, honest.
And we got to exercise.
How all?
You want your post-Grape Nuts?
Barn.
Come on.
A Grape Nuts breakfast fills you up, not out. 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 Fills you up, not out.
Delicious.
Pete tries to help a girl out of trouble and winds up framed for murder on the Mod Squad, Tuesday night at 7:30, 6:30 Central Time. Then Ken Berry and Ava Gabor star in Wake Me When the War is Over, a wild and wacky comedy on the Movie of the Week.
Toy.
The show will start in 2 minutes.
Friends, go in and see a DeSoto Plymouth dealer tomorrow. And when you do, tell him Groucho sent you.
You're going to do a scene with Boris Karloff. Your lines will appear right here. Read them loud and clear.
Come in. You know why I've asked you here. You must convince the villagers that I'm harmless. You're trembling. Are you afraid? Have some nice hot coffee. It's butternut. Like it? Butternut has found a way of making coffee richer without being bitter. Butternut has found a way of making coffee richer without being bitter. Take this. Oh, don't worry. I've lots more. Butternut coffee, regular and instant, rich but never bitter.
It's showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
Now, everyone at home, Mecca-lecca hi, Mecca, hiney ho. Mecca-lecca hi, Mecca, hiney ho. The wish is granted. Long live John P.
And we're live.
That we are.
Yeah, we're live. Believe it or not, we're back. We're a little late.
A little late. We had to watch a movie.
We watched, what movie did we watch, Chance?
Mm-hmm. We watched Rob Zombie's The Munsters on Netflix.
Oh.
Well,
don't ask Allison first.
Wait, I'm not going to give you my impression. I just want to thank Chance for the pizza today.
Oh, you're welcome.
It wasn't that nice of me?
Yeah. It was very nice.
I'm going to mention it. It was Papa John's stuffed pepperoni crust pizza, or stuffed crust pepperoni pizza.
It was delicious. It's still like Tom's. The cheese in the crust could have been a little more meltier, but that's okay. It was good.
It's because it came all the way. We're at Studio East, the fabulous Studio East, which is located, for those in the Atlanta, Georgia area, kind of in the Stone Mountainish area, and the pizza came all the way from the Battery.
Oh, is that where you got it
East
from?
Cobb County. So it traveled a little bit. If we'd had time to heat it up, it would have tasted a little bit better.
Next time we pass a Papa John's coming over here.
I'll just pick it up to go from.
Well, it's like I said, there's a Papa John's over here by, right by us. So anyway, we've got Al Hardee.
My song.
Yeah,
there you go.
And we got the lovely Chance Bartels.
Lovely.
And, of course, we got me. So you're stuck. You're stuck. That's all I can say. That's all you're stuck.
That's true.
And it's October. Happy October, gentlemen.
The second day of October.
Yeah.
I like Halloween. I'm glad it's October.
Yeah.
And I love the video piece, as always, that Tom put together. Basil Chesterman, a.k.a. Basil Chesterman.
Yeah.
I love the transitions between the bits. And since I haven't put that together and Tom did, I can compliment him.
Yeah,
Even though it's our show, it sounds like I'm patting myself on the back. I'm not. I'm patting Tom on the back.
Yes, it was wonderful. It was fun to do.
And we have a trivia game. I have a brand new game that I'm going to unveil on this very show. I want you guys to play just 5 trivia questions, and I invite our audience, or podience, as in podcast listeners, the podience is listening, to play along as well.
And how do they do that? They call 678-615-7560. Right. That's right. You call and you can be on the show. or else.
Well, let's sort of back up. Last night we went to the Plaza Theater here in Atlanta.
Yep.
Well, I was at home watching a movie,
Mm-hmm.
a movie called Fury. It was a great war movie, and so I'm sitting there, and it's like 8:30, and I get a text from Tom. Let's go see the Tingler, and it's just like. No, it's late. I can't go to the Tingler now. I haven't, prepared myself.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
But you went.
To make a long story short, he said, I'll be there in 30 minutes. So he was there, so we went. Actually, I'm glad that I went.
Well, why are we advertising this?
What?
What you've got on? Why are we advertising Kicks Radio?
Kicks doesn't exist anymore.
No, this is when I worked there.
Oh.
I worked there. I was a disc jockey.
I thought there was a reason.
I'm in the Halloween spirit. My shirt says, "Don't get bit," and that's from The Walking Dead. These are all zombies in each of the letters.
Well,
in blood red.
The Kick shirts, I forgot I had these. They're brand new, but I haven't been on the air there in years.
Right.
So I got to wear them.
And I'm wearing Tommy Bahama.
Well, there's no logo on that.
Well, there's one here. Now, you'll notice that there's Herman Munster, Fred Gwynn, Herman Munster, and over by Albert, there is Al Lewis as Grandpa Munster. And over by Chance Bartels, to your right, there's Frankenstein, drawn by Shane Morton, who is Professor Morte at the Spook Show.
Well, let's talk about the Spook Show before we get to the Munsters. But the Tingler's what we went to see with Vincent Price. I mean, I've seen that movie many, many, many times. But what's fun about going to the Plaza is the stage show.
Which is live.
With Shane
live
Morton. He's Professor Morte. He does a great job. He really, really does. And the theater was packed last night. I couldn't believe it was just about sold out.
Yeah.
And I had a great time. I didn't get a lot of sleep like you. Because, the show starts at 10, but the movie really doesn't start till about 11.
Right.
And it was over a little after midnight, I suppose. And I got home about 1:30.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I had a good time. And Chance had never seen the Tingler.
No. You had never seen it before.
I had never seen it. In fact, I'm so out of it, I thought we were seeing Dr. Phibes. Believe it or not, I got confused. And when you called me, Tom said, "Hey, guys, let's go to Spook Show." I was watching, and going to date the show, the UGA Missouri game and the Braves versus Mets at the very end of the 2022 season, depending on when you're listening to this baseball season. And so we all dropped what we were doing, and I met you guys there. You picked up Al, because Al doesn't like to drive any place.
Well, he has to come my way to pick me up anyway.
But the Plaza Theater, it's just like, depending on where you're listening, if you're in Los Angeles, they have the Egyptian Theater. I mean, there's probably a theater in your town that will show old movies. And this thing is kind of like the old Rocky Horror Picture Show in a way.
Well, the Plaza, they show that, by the way.
The Spook Show is.
The Plaza is the oldest theater in Atlanta, opened in 1939, and it's still open.
I didn't know that.
It's oldest theater.
Even older than the Fox Theater.
Yes.
Damn.
Well, I don't know. The Fox was Fox was a vaudeville place.
I was going to say the Fox I know was before Gone with the Wind.
Well, the Plaza was opened up as a movie theater, and the first movie they opened up with was one called The Women. It's been there it's been through several owners, and I worked there for a while under George LaFont.
But I get your point. The Plaza is more like a movie theater.
The
Fox
theater.
is more like live performances, a small Broadway type theater.
Well, they did vaudeville and all that stuff back in the early days, So But the Plaza is a wonderful old theater, and Christopher Escobar owns it now, and he's done a lot of good work down
But
there.
they got rid of the stage. I mean, the stage is smaller, or they don't have a stage.
Well, they had a big stage in front of the screen, and they took that away.
Yeah.
And when they did some remodeling. Yeah. But it's a nice place. It's kind of Art Deco-ish.
Yeah.
And I had a good time. Did you like the Tingler again?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big. Yes, okay. I won't say anything negative.
But it's got Vincent Price. I mean, if Vincent Price wasn't in the movie, it wouldn't be any good to me. I mean, maybe it would, but
It was funny to see the folks and which is a packed place, but it was funny to see them laugh in the places what really was not meant to laugh at because of the time that the movie was made. People wouldn't laugh.
Well, it was made by William Castle, who had these gimmicks in movie theaters to get people, because television was coming around and people were not going to the movies like they used to. So he came up with a gimmick in theaters.
Yeah.
And the Tingler, I know in the theater. Remember in the movie, there's a portion where the Tingler gets in the projection booth.
Yes.
And gets in front of the lens of the camera, and it goes, And
so on the screen, you're half describing it. On the screen, the people that are freaking out in the movie theater within the movie see this giant shadow of a creature on the screen, and pandemonium erupts.
Correct.
And back when the movie was released in theaters, they had a Tingler come down the aisles. And so. But it was fun. I imagine a lot of people there have never seen that movie.
Now,
before.
if you've seen
I've never seen it.
If you're one of the viewers, one of our many viewers that have seen the Tingler in the theater back in the day, we want to hear from you.
Yeah.
So
I saw it on television.
If you remember that far back.
And we already said Vincent Price was in it, but some of the other actors were not very good in that movie.
They weren't.
And that was part of the charm. And the audience is what made it for us. They were laughing at the movie, not with the movie. That made it hilarious.
The movie's in black and white, but there's a color scene in it with blood.
Yeah. In a bathtub.
In the bathtub. And it's all red. So,
all right. Well, Vincent Price plays a scientist, and he conducts all these experiments with LSD, I might add.
Yeah.
And he stumbles upon a friend whose wife is a deaf mute, and in the movie it's so inappropriate. They call her deaf and dumb. Deaf and dumb. They keep referring to her.
That wouldn't go over today, would it?
What the Tingler is, it's within your body.
Yes.
Right.
In the movie, and basically he creates a mutant through this deaf. I'm just quoting the movie, deaf and dumb woman, because his theory is, well, she can't emote, she can't actually scream, so it'll manifest and create the Tingler to grow within her body, and they literally extract it out of her body, the Tingler, and it looks like a lobster tail.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like. Yeah.
And you told me when we were watching it that back in the day, some theaters would actually have a Tingler going down the aisles of the movie theater to freak out the people in the audience.
Only when they saw it on the screen.
Yeah.
It would come down the aisle.
And Castle was like in Ed Wood. He specialized in really low-budget movies. And you told me about that movie Matinee starring John Goodman.
Oh, it was a great movie.
Which is a tribute to William Castle.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
a great movie.
It's a wonderful movie with John Goodman. Yeah. He plays William Castle. And William Castle, remember, he comes on the screen explaining to you,
at the beginning of the movie, like Tom Cruise did at the beginning of Top Gun 2 Maverick.
He said, "Don't be afraid to scream, because everybody else will too."
Yeah.
But he's so deadpan and so serious. That's what people were cracking up from the get-go, from frame one of the Tingler last night.
Oh yeah.
The audience got it.
Oh yeah, they did.
were.
Yeah,
it was fun.
It was, and you didn't talk about the 3D effects. They had these glasses, and I forgot to put on my glasses. I'll put them on now. This is from the show last night.
On the stage show, because you look great in those glasses, by the way. But they have a stage show where the ghost would come out over the audience, and it was really good. They did a nice job with that.
I mean, they had all sorts of. Like, and some of that stuff got my popcorn, by the way. Like,
I've noticed that.
They had these young women coming down the aisle, and the lights are out with a 3D effect of ghosts, like you just said.
Right,
but that entails, like, there's a physical aspect of it, where there's all these, like, stringy ghosts, and it's like a bunch of hair. And some of that hair got my damn popcorn. I was eating the popcorn. I'm like, oh my God, there's hair in it. And I realized, oh, it's from that thing.
Did you eat some of the hair? Did you eat some of that?
I ate some of that damn hair. I sure did. It was disgusting.
Well, you're still alive, so that's good. No, but I remember when you when you said that last night.
No, Haley knows there's a hair in my popcorn. I said, well, it's not mine. I said, I got a haircut.
Yeah. And there was a psychedelic effect, too. Yeah. I guess the joke was because of the LSD aspect of the story where Vincent Price takes LSD. And he gives LSD to the poor deaf woman. And now you were talking about the color part. When she gets freaked out on the drug, and it turned, I don't know if I should well, I'll go ahead and spoil it, but her husband's trying to get rid of her, and he actually aids in her demise where she dies from fear, where he puts on a mask and is coming at her with a butcher knife and stuff. But at one point, there's a bathtub filled with blood.
Well, see,
and that was in color. The blood's in color.
Her husband owns the movie theater. And so she works at the movie theater. And so that's when the Tingler shows up in the theater in the movie.
Yeah, but in the bathtub, when she's tripping out and she's scared to death, the poor deaf woman, there's a shot of a bathtub with water running.
Yes.
It's blood.
And there's blood coming from it, but the blood is in color.
Yes.
And when that happens, the whole movie's in black and white except for that blood effect, but the screen gets really grainy, and Yulene didn't explain. Originally, that wasn't in black and white. What does that mean? They added blood. When did they add the red blood?
No. I think it was originally that way. They just didn't have a 35 millimeter element of that.
Oh, I was going to say, because I thought originally, even though I hadn't seen it, I'd heard about
what happened.
Blood
the movie was shot in 35 millimeter, but they didn't have that particular segment of 35 part, so they had to,
Kind of like when Frankenstein threw the girl in the water.
Right.
Yeah. That hit the edit room floor.
And,
and it's still not a good, pristine version of that particular scene.
Well, I have that movie on film, but mine was a TV print, and that scene where Frankenstein throws the girl in the lake has been removed from my print.
Yeah, of course it has. Yeah.
Boo. But now, I did like the Tingler. It was fun. I'm glad I went, even though I'm tired.
Yeah.
I didn't get a lot of sleep.
No.
And you didn't get a lot of sleep.
No, no.
What do you get, 4 hours sleep?
Chance is the only one that got a lot of sleep.
Yeah, I got 7.5 hours sleep, and I slept well. I dreamt, had nice dreams, and all
Good
that.
deal.
Well, see, I went to bed at 1:30, but my dog automatically wakes up at 5:30. He just wakes up, and I have to take him out to do his thing.
Well, anyway, the Tingler, excuse me, the Tingler was good, but we're here to talk about
the Munsters.
The Munsters, and
on Netflix.
One of the things. And Remind Magazine has just come out with their latest issue, which has got them on the cover, which is good. And the only bad thing is they got Elvira, they got Spengoli, and they've got...
I got my copy, too.
Other thing. Oh, you got your copy, too?
I don't have a copy.
Let's see.
Ours came probably the same day.
Yeah, it did.
They're out of Florida. Good thing they shipped it before that terrible hurricane. Again, I'm dating the show, but before Hurricane Ian struck Florida, they must have mailed these
You were going to get me a free subscription, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm still working on that, buddy. I forgot to...
I clean your films and do your films for you. That's the least you could do.
I agree. I agree with that.
All right, okay, we're going to talk about the Munsters.
All right.
Who wants to go first? What?
You guys go first. I'm busy.
Tom, I love the TV show with Fred Gwynne.
Well, of course you did. Yeah, of course you did.
But what's your first impression of the movie?
My first impression of the movie is it was too long. They could have shortened it in sections, which would have made the pacing a little bit better. The way it was shot, the colors and everything was very nice. I didn't have any issues with that. I didn't have any issues with the Count, which is played by Danny Roebuck. You may remember him from Matlock and some other sitcoms, and he did a good job as a Grandpa Munster type character. He was great. Lily is the problem that everyone seems to have with the movie, that she was trying to be like Yvonne DiCarlo as Lily, but really, I thought, and of course once I pointed out, you guys agree with me, that it was more like Elvira. She was more like Elvira.
Cassandra Peterson, I agree.
Yeah, and Cassandra Peterson was in the movie as the real estate agent toward the end, but the movie, will I ever watch it again? Probably not. Did I enjoy it? I sat through it. Now, if we weren't watching it as a group and trying to give a fair assessment, I would have probably cut it off after about 30 minutes, only because it just didn't interest me. The plot wasn't very good. There wasn't a plot. There was not. I mean, the plot was a prequel. It just wasn't very good. It could have been written a little bit better.
Well, I appreciate Rob Zombie's effort, but
I do too.
I really didn't care for it.
Yeah.
You said your line.
But I did. There's one thing I did like about it. I liked the way they did the colors, but I think they overused the green a little too much. But I did like the set design. I like the way the movie looked.
Yeah.
But as far as a story and the acting, I'm trying to figure out who Rob Zombie made this movie for.
Well,
I mean, it's not aimed at kids, really, because there's no kids in the movie.
I disagree because it's clean. I mean, it's on Netflix. He could have gone hard, nasty, rated R if he wanted to. And I think a lot of people did expect gore, and they expected 2000 Maniacs.
Yeah.
And but kids today don't know. They don't know who the Munsters are. It's just
it doesn't have to have. But I don't think it has to have kids in it to be a kids movie.
No,
that's just me.
Well, I think he made it for himself, and
he probably might have.
His wife was the worst part of the movie.
Well,
she was,
and everyone tends to agree with you.
She was bad. She was pretty bad. And doesn't he put her in all his movies?
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but
maybe to in the marriage agreement, maybe.
Well, but you look at the Count was the best thing in the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, Danny Roebuck.
Yeah, he was very good at it. But I just
You mean his Grandpa Munster?
Well, he was the Count in this version.
Yeah.
Because this is a prequel before the Munsters. They
Yeah.
But I like I said, I'll never watch it again.
No.
But the story was and the comedy lines just fell flat. They didn't engage me at all.
No.
I didn't laugh really at all either, but
No.
I'm not going to trash it when it gets to be my turn. I'll elaborate what I liked about it. But
people rate movies different ways. They rate them with A's and B's and C's and D's and E's. Some people use numbers and thumbs.
Yeah.
And tomatoes. And
I think I would give it
stars.
2 stars out of 5.
Yeah.
It was easy to watch and it looked fine, but like I said, it didn't have a good story. I didn't have any interest in any of it really.
Now,
outside of the looks.
Now, when it first came on, after about 5 minutes, you even said, "Well, this isn't so bad."
Yeah,
but
I heard
that was only after about 3, 4, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So then you said, but then as the movie progressed, that type of look that they had in the movie, which is good, can only carry a movie so far.
Now, I heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that Rob Zombie wanted to do it in black and white, but Universal said no. It's got to be in color.
That was a point I was going to bring up. Do you think it would have been better if it were in black and white? Because you complained about the overuse of green.
Right.
They did do a black and white sequence.
Well, I mean, at the end of the movie, it was cool. You remember in the original Munsters how Herman comes through the door and the music?
Yeah.
They used that very same music because Universal owns all of that. So they could
they did the whole sequence, not just the music.
Well, yeah, they did the whole sequence.
The opening credit sequence.
On the end credits, and it was in black and white. I mean, that was cool. I like that.
But if you're looking for Marilyn Munster, spoiler alert, she ain't in it. The human, good-looking, played by Pat Priest and Beverly Owen.
I didn't see her in it.
I didn't see her in it, but...
No. Well, Cassandra Peterson's got a part in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom mentioned that, as the real estate agent. Yep.
But, like I said, it's not the worst movie I've ever seen, but it ranks up there pretty high.
Well, you made a couple complaints while we were watching it that I didn't hear you say. If you did, forgive me, I'm a bad listener. You said the voice of Herman, I'm so used to hearing Fred Gwynn, it's throwing me off.
I didn't like the voice of him at all.
It looks to me like a little bit like a younger Chevy Chase. And that's not a complaint, it's just an observation.
I mean, the makeup on him was fine. I didn't, for what it is, I think it was good, but...
And then another complaint, I don't know if you already said this, forgive me if you did. You said when they come to Los Angeles, you said, why aren't regular people freaking out like in the show when they see the Munsters?
Well,
and see
remember
that
in the
they're
TV
monsters?
series when they went out in public, everybody freaked out because they were so spooky looking.
But Tom corrected you on one point. They're flying on a plane.
Yeah, well.
And Tom, what is it in the script?
Well, they were in first class, and they got moved up to first class because all the people from first class, once they got moved up, they ran back to the business class. So
and they're like, "Wasn't that nice of them? They gave us first class."
Yeah, that's right.
On the house.
But you didn't see. But you didn't see the people.
You didn't see it unless they edited it out.
But you didn't see the people running back.
That could have been edited out for all we know. But
they should have left that part in.
Well, it would have made the movie better.
The movie was too long.
Yeah,
it could have been 90 minutes and fine.
Yeah.
They shot it in Hungary, in Budapest, by the way.
Yeah.
And I want to just give a shout out.
That's why it costs too much money.
I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon and trash this movie because I'm really glad that an actress that I like, Catherine Schell, was in it in a pretty significant role as Zoya Krupp. And she was like kind of a crooked fortune teller type.
And she was good.
And I thought she did a great job. And she started acting again after many years, since the mid-'90s, recently in 2020 in Dracula. And she's in this too. And she was born in Hungary. I don't know if that was part of the reason that Rob Zombie cast her or not, but anyway. And I think she might live there to this day. Yeah. Anyway, I met her in 2000 in New York City, and she's a very nice person. She signed for free like 55 items for me.
I don't know why they would go over there to shoot the movie. They could. It was all done on a set. They could have done it.
Yeah, I don't know why they did it. I don't know why they did that either.
For money, I'm sure.
But there were no
for tax break.
There were no outdoor scenes. Everything was on a set.
Yeah. No, there were some.
What?
What was Halloween? But that was in L.A., so that could, I don't know.
That was on a set. It wasn't outdoors.
You think that was at Universal Backlot?
Yeah.
Well, online it says it was shot on location. All right. I don't know if I think that's the. I thought the sets
what I'm
were
saying,
built there too.
maybe it was, but it could have been shot here without having to go to Budapest to shoot the movie.
Here meaning what? America or Atlanta or L.A.
Where. Why did they need to go to Budapest and spend all that money when they could have done it
There's
here?
got to be a logical reason. I'm sure it's dollars and cents.
No. Well, you got a thing on TV? Yeah, there you go.
No, I'm just showing some clips.
But, good. He's going to play the trailer too. I think.
Yeah, I've got the trailer. Yeah,
but like I said, watching it one time is enough. I'll never watch it again.
But you're watching it now.
Yeah.
Well, of course I am. I'm talking about watching the whole movie.
You must admit the lab scene was pretty good.
I love the visuals of it, like you, Tom. I thought it looked fantastic.
The look of the movie was fine. I think they overused the green too much, but I think the movie looked great.
And Sherry Moon Zombie, Tom's absolutely right. She is emulating Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, and not Lily Munster.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
it's a cross between the two.
Why didn't she make the part her own? Why didn't she just do her own thing and create her own character?
Well, because she was directed that way, I guess. Who knows?
And Dee Wallace was in it, and you noted there's a sequence where they show like a morning show, and there's a little tribute to a character that Martin Short created.
Yeah, Jiminy Glick.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy with the big old fat nose.
Yeah. I think that was a nod to him.
That's who it reminded me of, whether they were trying to copy that.
I don't mean copy, I mean an homage. Yeah. I didn't mean to be negative like he ripped it off. It's played like an homage, like a tribute.
Yeah.
Well, I've never been a big Rob Zombie fan anyway.
Well, who has? I mean, I don't know anybody that is, but let's watch.
He's kind of a B movie guy. Yeah.
Let's watch the trailer. I've got the trailer here, so let's.
Okay, but when you see the trailer, you see the whole movie. Okay, run the trailer.
Wait a minute. You've seen the whole movie. Well depends on which trailer you're watching.
Well, yeah, they have different trailers, but the one that I saw.
Yeah. Well, here's a preview.
Let it roll.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie, the director of House of a Thousand Corpses, Halloween, and The Devil's Rejects, brings you the greatest love story ever told.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that.
Think of it. The brain of a super genius transplanted into the body of a perfect physical specimen.
I want a man that makes my blood run cold. A man that every time he enters my crypt, it's like a stake through my dead black heart.
I can whip the upper humpy down in the lamb.
Oh no. Remember what happened last time?
He was batty.
I'm gonna go.
Okay. I'm looking for a vision. A queen. True love.
And what exactly do you want?
Is Herman Munster in there? I knew the moment I laid eyes on you that you were special. I understand if you don't feel the same. I'm just a regular gal living a boring, normal life.
If there's one thing I know, is that the rest of the world melted away as soon as you appeared in my life.
It seems Miss Lily is truly in love.
Oh, come on. You know and I know that we got to get rid of that bozo Herman Munster.
Greetings from Transylvania. That's a strange way of saying hello.
Oh, I guess we're gonna have to get used to it.
All right, well, there it is.
I mean, I like it.
There's Elvira at the very end is the witch.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be trick-or-treating. We're about to go to a Halloween party in the story.
Yeah.
She's a normal human in the story. Real estate agent, as we said.
And the story actually takes place in the 60s.
Yeah, 1964.
Because they have 60s cars in them. Because
Well, it's a prequel. It's a prequel.
When the Munsters acquire the house that you're so used to seeing, you know, they go outside to see their neighbors, and they're all this clean-cut,
What's their street name? Little trivia question for you.
Oh, I just saw
1313 Mockingbird Lane.
I knew you'd know it. I wanted to see if we could stump Al. I wanted him to strain.
Oh, of course you can stump him.
Headlights. Yeah. So Catherine Schell, I didn't really mention, she's best known as Maya in Space 1999 Season 2, because I mentioned how I was so impressed that she was cast, and people were like, who the hell is that? And you may say, what the hell, Space 1999? She was in a James Bond movie as well, on Her Majesty's Secret Service as one of Blofeld's scowls, and she was in Return of the Pink Panther, the main lead opposite Peter Sellers. So that's all I'd say about that. And then, did we mention Butch Patrick had a cameo?
Yeah, but
You wanna talk on that?
Butch Patrick was the tin monster, was a tin can monster.
Yeah,
And it was like a B movie. I've seen that image.
Yeah, but you don't see him.
You see that image. The reason you see the image, if you watch the TV show, Butch and Eddie and Grandpa put together a tin monster for Eddie's science project. I think it was a science project, and it blew up backstage. And Herman went on. They thought Herman was the something that they had created. But anyway, he played that same character, or rather, let me rephrase that. That tin can monster appeared in the original series, and now it appears in the Rob Zombie movie. So that's
played by the real Eddie Munster actor.
Played by Eddie Munster, who supposedly helped Grandpa build that tin can monster. So there you go.
And
robot.
Dee Wallace is in the cast, who was the mom in E.T., the extraterrestrial.
I wonder why they didn't use, because Universal supposedly has the original Frankenstein set and stuff. I just wonder why they didn't use any of that.
Well, they don't own the original. The set was tore down, but the machinery and everything is actually owned by an individual Mel Brooks. I almost said Mel Blanc. Mel Brooks had exactly.
You're talking about Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein. He got that equipment from that guy.
Okay.
And on the end credits, that guy gets I don't know his name, but he gets the credit for it. So so it is.
I think Netflix will do well with it. I think it's one of the most watched movies right now on Netflix.
Well,
but
you got like a train wreck. You got to look. Well, Pat Priest is in it, according to the credits, as Transylvania, but I don't remember seeing her.
Maybe she's in
under
one
a
of
bunch
the
of
scenes.
makeup, or maybe it's like Butch Patrick totally covered up. Or I doubt they would have cut her out, but I guess I wasn't paying close enough attention. I don't remember. And then Jeremy Wheeler is in it, playing Mr. Gateman, and he's been in a lot of Rob Zombie productions. So I like directors that rehire some of their favorites, kind of like Sam Raimi does.
Yeah.
And anyway, I like that.
You can leave those glasses on the whole time?
Maybe.
Okay.
But
you got a problem with that?
I'm going to leave mine on.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about the 3D. Are we in 3D? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Are we in 3D?
You actually look normal.
Oh,
that was a hit. That was.
I'm kidding. You take a shot at me all the time.
Well.
So anyway, the movie.
It's always a love shot.
It is. The movie itself, like I said, was too long. And I think if you watch it in chunks, like if you watch 30 minutes.
So
of it
why
and
would
come
you
back to
watch
it.
a movie in chunks?
Because some people have better things to do with their time. That's why.
Well, first of all, if you sit down to watch a movie, that is your time. You watch the movie. You've set 2 hours to watch that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I'm not going to get in an argument with you, but that's how I watch movies.
Tom,
lately.
you're the big Munster fan in the room. I mean, you're a huge collector. You've built models. You collect also.
Yeah, Munster coach is over there. Matter of fact, I meant to put the Munster coach out, but I didn't do it.
You want me to grab it?
No, that's okay.
So your opinion is the most valued, I think, because you really are a true fan. I mean, I think this thing on Netflix was kind of like the show to the layman. I mean, it's. Did you find the original Munsters to be laugh out loud funny or amusing?
Yeah, I really thought the original series. I still laugh at it because of Herman's mannerisms and his facial expressions and his interaction with Grandpa. I still find it funny.
And this Herman Munster,
I do.
He's right. The voice.
I did not find interaction between Herman and Danny Roebuck or the Count. It wasn't there.
The chemistry.
Yeah,
that the originals had.
It wasn't there, but that's okay because they didn't have the time to develop it. Because Herman and Al Lewis and Fred Gwynn had done Car 54 Where Are You before that.
Right.
So
they mentioned that in the movie too. Because he mentions Car 54 in the movie. Remember?
In this movie?
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear that.
I didn't either.
No, Herman hollers out. You see something about Car 54.
No,
something.
No, the original Munster movie is when they do that. The original Munster movie.
They mentioned Car 54. I heard him mention Car 54.
I didn't hear it.
Maybe they did. I'm not doubting your word. I didn't know
they did.
Oh, interesting. I'll let
the
listen
original Munster movie.
Munster Go Home.
Munster
I
Go
like that
Home.
movie. It came out.
That's one of the funniest
68.
damn things in the whole movie because him and Grandpa goes. They hear a noise or whatever, and they go down. And they got a torch and everything. Herman's got his pajamas on, and it's funny as crap. Herman gets scared, and they start spurting out a bunch of one-liners. And one of them is Herman says, "Car 54, where are you?" I mean, it was
remember the Munsters when they got in the car? Remember when they were leaving? I guess go to the airport, whatever. He said, "Get Car 54."
Oh, I believe you. Okay. Yeah. I didn't catch that.
Yeah,
good observation.
He said, go get Car 54.
Well, there you
Interesting.
go. Well, there you go. You were listening.
I was.
Yeah, you really were.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do.
It's good for the Halloween season.
Sometimes you do.
It's good for the Halloween season. I'm not going to bash it or trash it. It is what it is. And
it's playing in some theaters, and I don't think it's playing in Atlanta in theaters, but I know it's playing in L.A. in the theaters. And
well, how did it compare to Clawmasters?
You mean Al Returned, your movie?
Well, yeah. Claw Monster.
You brought it back? Because last week I thought you borrowed that one.
He did.
I did.
And you brought it back. I'll be darned. That's
Claw
pretty
Monster.
Cool.
So how did it compare?
This was a terrible movie. you know what the monster was?
What?
A big giant lobster that they just made really big. It was a lobster.
Yeah.
You know? It was cheesy.
Well, how about this one? I'll hold it. I was a teenage Frankenstein.
I put that on my YouTube channel. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. I mean, for what it is.
Yeah.
It's much better than the Claw Monsters. I mean, but that is a cool box.
Yeah, it is a cool box.
But the monster, it's just all it is a big lobster. It's so funny, and all they did was make it look big.
It terrified you. You had nightmares.
I did.
Yeah,
no, I didn't either.
Now, last week we introduced a little feature I came up with, the television cliche line of the week, and this time I want to open up to the nostalgic cliche line or concept of the week on television. Thank you, Tom.
I figured I did the whole song.
And last time we said, here's a cliche line as an example on television. You only hear on television, "Forgive me, David, but you're a terrible liar." That's a cliche television line. Well, this week I want to talk about a cliche concept, and that is amnesia, where a main character or a guest star will get thumped on the head, lose their memory, and then they get thumped again, and magically their memory returns. That does not happen in real life, in reality.
No, but it does in TV and movies.
On Batman, King Tut, that whole character played by Victor Buono. He was like a college professor who gets thumped on the head with like a plant or whatever, and he thinks he's King Tut. And then by the end of the story, he's thumped again, and he's back to normal again. Yeah. Same thing happened on I Dream of Jeannie with Major Nelson, one of the last black and white episodes. He gets hit on the head, gets amnesia, sees Jeannie, thinks she's a normal mortal and doesn't remember she has powers. And it's just such a plot device that's so cliche. Yeah. And that never happens. Have you ever heard of someone in real life? Of course not. They got thumped on the head. No. Hell, even losing their memory by getting thumped the one time. I've never heard of that.
I've never heard of that.
I've heard of people getting amnesia, getting thumped on the head. But
really?
wait a minute. Now, whether it's just ingrained in my brain cells, something I've seen in a movie, remains to be seen. But I can see that possibly happening, but them getting thumped again and then get the memory back, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's medically ever happened.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, the King Tut episodes weren't that good to me.
In your opinion? Yeah.
In my opinion. I mean, I like Batman, but I didn't care for that character.
He passed away rather young, too, Victor.
Yeah. He was kind of a big guy, too.
Yeah. I have a kinescope of a Tonight Show from 1973 with him as a guest, and Rich Little and Joanne Flug. Ooh, speaking of the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, it recently celebrated its 60th anniversary. We're past this now, but it first debuted October 1st, 1962 on NBC. And, of course, who were the previous hosts? Steve Allen, Jack Parr of The Tonight Show before Johnny Carson took over. And it was
Jerry
live.
Lewis also guest host over.
And it was live originally, and then before Johnny Carson took over, they switched to taping it. And originally it was in New York City, and then in 1972 they moved it to Burbank, California.
Yeah, before Carson actually moved to California, they would go a couple of weeks in California, remember?
Yeah.
And they would go back to New York.
I've got a great Halloween Carson bit, which I'll say for a Halloween show. Yeah. It's 4 or 5 minutes long, but him and Ed McMahon are carving pumpkins, but I won't say anything more about it. It's pretty funny, but anyway.
You know, I don't watch late night talk shows anymore. I don't stay up, but they're just not funny to me anymore.
Well, they're not. Well, some of the things Fallon does is still funny, and I'll catch them every once in a while, whether it's TikTok, Facebook, or whoever posts them. But that's the only way I'll ever see them. I never watch them.
But you know, I love Johnny Carson. But you know who I really like?
Craig Ferguson.
He was great. He should have gotten the CBS.
Yeah, Craig Ferguson was fantastic. But I think he was a little burnt out. Probably is why he wanted off the show. I find it hard to believe that CBS wanted him off the show. But you never know what goes on behind the scenes in management.
Well, that James what's his name? Cordova. He's leaving too.
James Corden.
Corden. He's leaving. He's
the British guy.
Yeah,
a little rotund. Yeah.
He's kind of funny. I like him. Yeah. He's kind of funny.
So, do you remember when the Tonight Show was 90 minutes long?
Yes, it was 90 minutes.
An hour and a half from 11:30 p.m. until 1 a.m. And then back in January 1980, they shortened it to 60 minutes, which it is now.
And Carson always took. Then later, he always took Monday night off.
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon's the host now, and of course the whole Conan O'Brien controversy from a few years ago, where he was the host after Jay Leno retired.
You know, Conan was. I liked him a lot. I think he was very funny. I always liked his show.
I did too, and even when he had the Tonight Show, which I've got them all on a drive. I'm looking around, but I don't know where the drive's at. But I've got them all, and they're quite funny. I mean,
he was very funny.
They're all the shows had some really funny elements on them, and for him to have gotten kind of screwed over, although they gave him $42 million, which he shared with his with his crew, with his people around him, so they wouldn't, go poor.
I saw a bit the other day on YouTube with Conan, where a lot of times on his show, he would mispronounce somebody's name. He wouldn't get it right. And so these people would send him videos, "You buffoon, that's not the right name." And, and he would play it. He would play it. It was funny. And there was one, an actor, he called Shia LaBeouf.
Instead of LeBeau or whatever.
No, it's not LeBeau.
Shia,
Anyway, his name is Shia LaBeouf. But he got it wrong.
And he's nuts too, right? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. He's a pretty good actor.
He's had some problems.
But anyway, the bit with Conan was funny because he played people's videos they sent him correcting his pronunciation of stuff. And it was funny.
Now, the guy who played the father on Back to the Future, he's kind
Crispin Glover.
Yeah, he's kind of a weird.
He was on Letterman. He almost kicked Letterman, and Letterman said, "That's it," and he walked away back in like 1987 or something.
Yeah, he's kind of a weird duck.
He is, man.
He hasn't been on anything since.
And he didn't reprise the role in Back to the Future Part 2 because allegedly...
Why would he do that?
What? Why would he try to kick? He was like, he had long hair and he was wearing bell bottoms and he was just kind of whacked. He might have been on drugs or something. I don't know. But
he's like not River Phoenix, but Jacqueline Phoenix kind of went crazy there for a while.
Yeah,
he's back to normal, whatever.
As the Joker, he's not, but I hear you, yeah.
But he kind of did the same thing. Maybe not quite as bad, but
it's Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
He was in a fall. I always talk about that damn Fall Guy. He was in a Fall Guy as a little kid with a little minor speaking part in 1984. I have it on film.
But Joaquin Phoenix, him and his brother. What was his brother? It died.
River
at the Viper Room in 1993. Well, drug overdose.
They were raised in a commune. Back in the days,
really?
His parents lived in a commune. They all were raised in a commune. That kind of maybe messed them up. I don't know.
Can I just quickly add that the last Tonight Show with Johnny Carson aired back on Friday, May 22nd, 1992.
Wow!
And Johnny
saw that.
Yeah, I did too. I have it on tape, and I need to convert it to DVD.
It was kind of sad.
It was. The whole week was sad when that Bette Midler was singing to him and he was tearing up. The whole farewell process lasted for maybe a month, and it was very, very sad. But Johnny sadly passed away on Sunday, January 23rd, 2005, at the age of 79. Wow. Yeah. God bless him. By the way, a little inside.
He was a heavy smoker.
Emphysema was part of one of the reasons he died.
If you remember on his show, he would smoke during the break, and he would hide the cigarette under the.
Not originally, Well, he wasn't in the closet. He was out there.
Well,
smoking
later on, he would hold it under the desk.
By the way, Inside Baseball, Tom, I shared the show on the Podblast. It says not available. No one can see it because I think the settings are locked up to only members. So I don't know.
That's weird.
I'm working on it.
Oh, that's weird.
But it'll be fixed later. I'll just share the YouTube. Later.
Okay.
Anyway,
what are you doing? So
that was good.
Well, yeah, but take it out of the wrapper and then put the wrapper aside. Anyway, now you made me lose my train of thought.
So we need to direct people to your page, which is Basil's Nostalgic Podcast on Facebook.
Yeah.
And our YouTube channel, The Nostalgic Podblast or Al Hardee Entertainment.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are our Nostalgic Rewind.
Is that on YouTube?
Yeah.
Nostalgic Rewind is on Facebook.
No, but we're talking YouTube.
Oh.
Hardee Entertainment hyphen Al's Place.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all good.
Go get her and subscribe. I've only got 21.
Don't say that on the air. I can't share it on my personal. We'll deal with it later. It just says no one can see it, but unless you're a member, that's why you should join Basil's Nostalgic Podcast page. Last time you shared it from your personal, and it was set to worldwide, so I could
go to my personal page and see
if it's on there. I'm looking.
Well, go look and see if it's there.
Okie dokie, Smokey.
Yeah. In the meantime, these characters.
Oh, these are great characters. This is my favorite. Can I take this home today?
No, be careful with it because it's porcelain. It's not resin. No, you can't take it home with you. Golly.
It ain't on your personal. If you get it, not now, you're busy doing a show, but share it to your personal and I can.
It is on my personal.
I don't see it.
It should be on my personal. But anyway, these characters are pretty well done.
Oh, they're excellent. They look great.
The only problem is...
It looks just like Fred Gwynn.
It does.
The Munster.
It does. And they did the face very well, and I can see even his backside, the way his derriere kind of stuck out. They got all of that down pretty good. And not to mention Al Lewis over there to your right. I mean, they got him perfectly as well. And they did a good job. Now, I've gotten other maquettes... They call them maquettes, that Electric Tiki did of them. And here's the thing: I only collected the characters I cared about. I didn't get the Lily, and I didn't get the Lily version of this. Mm-hmm. Although it was bought and I got ripped off for it. So that's beside the point. But they're bringing anywhere from $1,000.
Wow!
So they're out of print.
Holy cow!
Oh yeah, they've been out of manufacture for quite a while.
Well, I mentioned it before on the show that when I worked at Turner, Al Lewis was there. He did a show called Super Scary Saturday.
Yeah.
And he would come down from New York and spend a week, cutting the wraparounds for the movies.
Yeah.
And they had a nice set for that.
Yeah, they did.
And Al Lewis could be he could be really, really nice. And some days could be kind of
cantankerous
and grumpy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So But I have my picture taken with him.
Cool.
I should have. I think I showed it one time on the show.
I got my picture with him.
In fact, he was here for Halloween one time, and when Ted owned the theaters down at CNN Center, there were 6 theaters down there.
Yeah.
He was down there because we screened a movie called The Fearless Vampire Killers for Halloween, and I was down there, and Al Lewis was dressed up as Grandpa down there at the theater.
You can't beat Al Lewis. I mean, I like the gentleman in the new movie, but Al was just had so much character.
I love
charisma.
Al Lewis's laugh.
Charisma.
His laugh was just,
And speaking of laugh, the guy that played Herman did a pretty good job with the Fred Gwynn laugh. I mean, it was an all right impression of it.
Yeah, he did all right. He did all right.
I worked on a movie with Fred Gwynn, my cousin Vinny.
You did?
I did.
Oh, I remember that movie.
I ran dailies for that movie. It was filmed in
Marissa Tomei's in it.
Yeah, and I met Fred Gwynn. He wouldn't remember me. Of course, he's gone now. But I talked to him.
He really wouldn't remember you now.
He's dead. But anyway, but he was a nice guy. He played the judge. But yeah.
Yeah, he did. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did. And he did a good job. I mean, he got good reviews on it as well.
My cousin Vinny. I haven't watched that movie in a long time.
Yeah.
You can see my name on the credits.
Yeah.
But no, it was a good movie. Fred Gwynn. And he's a big guy, too. He was tall.
He was very tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very tall.
I think I came up to his waist.
No,
he wasn't that tall.
You're exaggerating.
I know, but I'm just saying he was really, really tall.
Yeah. So you were alluding to you had some trivia questions. What were they?
Well, I have a new game I want to play with you, gentlemen. This is a trivia game, and it's not hard. I'm not trying to stump you. But this is a game I've called Brand or Brand X, Ripoff or Original. So I am going to name a product that had a knockoff made of it, and you tell me which was first. Okay. Understand? So I'm going to mention a cookie right now.
Right.
And you tell me which one came first. And what I'll do,
what do you mean which one
I'll
came
ask
first?
Tom, and then I'll ask Al for your answer, and then I'll pause for the audience to think about it, and then I'll give the correct answer. So let's start. So which brand came first?
Okay.
That's all. So here's number one. Hydrox cookies or Oreo cookies?
Hydrox came first. As a matter of fact, Hydrox was even more popular than Oreo for a long time. And basically, Oreo came along and was a little bit sweeter, I think. And for somehow, some way, because of marketing issues, they marketed better than Hydrox. And then they took the Hydrox market, and I got some Hydrox cookies upstairs in the pantry right now.
You can order them, I think, from Amazon or somewhere.
Let's see if Herman still works.
We can make such horrible music together.
There you go. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your trivia.
That's okay.
But
so, do you agree with Tom?
Yes.
It's Hydrox before Oreo.
Yes.
And you would be correct. So Hydrox debuted in 1908, and it was baked by Sunshine Brands for over 90 years.
That's the only thing they ever made that was good.
Well, I think Sunshine's still around.
They are. I think they are.
I've got some information on that real quick. Hydrox was discontinued in the year 1999, 3 years after Sunshine was acquired by Keebler.
Yes.
Which was later bought by Kellogg's. I didn't know this. Keebler was bought by Kellogg's cereal. And in September,
why would they give up
for money?
Let me see. But Oreos was number 2, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But now they're number 1, I suppose.
But in September 2015, Leaf Brands brought back Hydrox cookies, which are primarily sold in the dollar stores. Like Dollar Tree. You always see those knockoff brands in those dollar stores.
You can buy
Family
them
Dollar.
And you can buy them on Amazon, too, which is where these were bought, the ones I got upstairs.
Right. And conversely, Oreo cookies were introduced by Nabisco, which was an imitation of Hydrox, on Wednesday, March 6th, 1912. So Hydrox came around in 1908 and Oreos in 1912. Yeah. As of 2014, did you know this? Oreo is the best-selling cookie worldwide, globally.
And they have different versions of Oreo. They have the thin ones, they have the the regular ones, and they have the mint ones.
The double stuff.
They have the chocolate ones.
Oh yeah,
triple
pumpkin
stuff.
flavor.
I like the chocolate ones.
Yeah.
And so, by the way, Nabisco was bought out in 2012 by a company called Mondelez International.
Ooh, yeah.
So, there you go.
Yeah.
I like Nabisco vanilla wafers.
So I got 5 of these for you, gentlemen. That was the first one. There's 4 more. Next, which came first? Sugar Smack cereal or Super Sugar Crisp cereal, which is like the puffed wheat cereal.
Sugar Smacks and what?
Which came first, Sugar Smacks or Super Sugar Crisp? All right, Sugar Crisp was the post version. Kellogg's made Sugar Smacks, which is now called Honey Smacks. We'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah, I think, personally, I think Sugar Smacks was first, but it might be a trick question. What do you think, Al?
I agree.
You agree with Tom?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, which came first? That would be actually Post Cereal's version.
Oh.
It was called Sugar Crisp. Post Cereals began in 1904 at the World's Fair by the Quaker Oats Company. And it was similar to Cracker Jacks, but without the peanuts and the popcorn. It was just puffed wheat. And the concept was reintroduced in 1939 by another business called Ranger Joe as the first pre-sweetened candy-coated breakfast cereal. That's how they marketed it. Now, Post Foods introduced their own version in 1948 called Happy Jacks, spelled J-A-X. Happy Jacks, and which is renamed Super Crisp. Sugar Crisp, rather, in the next year in 1940. And did you know it's 51% sugar?
Wow. Yeah, that I did know. I've got a
Holy diabetes,
yeah,
Batman.
Yeah. I've got a Wild Bill Hickok in there on film, brought to you by Kellogg's. Oh. And one of the sponsors is Sugar Smacks, or Sugar Pops Pete, I think is who the character was at that time. They went through many characters, but Sugar Pops Pete was the character.
You have a favorite cereal?
Lucky Charms.
Magically delicious.
Yeah.
I like them too.
Those are awful.
I would eat like the little wheat part first, so I could just have a bowl of the marshmallows. That was my dessert. Dessert.
You can buy the marshmallows by themselves now.
Yeah,
in a bag.
Yeah. So the origin, real quick, of the knockoff, the puffed wheat sweet cereal that Kellogg's knocked off, which is now called Honey Smacks, Sugar Smacks. That was introduced in 1953 by Kellogg's, and then they renamed it Sugar Smacks and then Honey Smacks in the 1980s. Yeah. And in Britain, the cereal is called Honey Monster Puffs.
Honey Monster
I've never heard of that.
What's your
but these have the more sugar content. The Kellogg's version has 55% sugar versus 51% of the Post.
Well, again, if you've ever read the sugar content of a Coke or a Mountain Dew, it's crazy.
I know.
For one small can.
48 grams of sugar.
Yeah. What is your favorite cereal then? Not that you eat cereal.
Rice Krispies.
Do you add sugar to it?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I see.
Bland. Totally bland.
I see I love my parents, but my mother would never buy us a sugar-coated cereal. It was either
I
Cheerios,
like Frosted Flakes at the time.
Not Frosted Flakes, Corn Flakes, or Rice Krispies, and we would always add sugar to it.
And then you make Corn Flakes, Frosted Flakes with the sugar in a sense.
Well, Frosted Flakes already had the sugar on them. Corn Flakes was
we never got to Frosted Flakes. But
no.
Yeah. So
you just said something kind of obvious, but it's okay.
What?
I'm just teasing you.
Is there any Rice Krispies in your pantry?
I don't know.
What about Rice Krispie Treats?
I don't think so.
What about Rice Krispie Treats?
Oh, those are good.
Do you have them in your pantry?
No, I do not. My mother used to make.
Wait.
You make it with marshmallows. My mother used to make them.
Yeah.
You know.
The recipe was on the box.
Big pan. You know, with the.
It was on the side panel.
Yeah.
Interesting topic. So wait a minute. Let's explore this. Hold your trivia for just a second.
What?
So what sweets do you have in your pantry? And you may have a sweet or two, but are they brand name sweets? Go ahead. Go. We'll listen. You don't have any, do you?
I do.
But the Walmart brand of cookies, which are good, which I'll be the first to say they're good.
Oh man,
I have the knockoff Oreos.
Are you serious? You cheapskate.
Have you done a price comparison? There's only $1 or $2 difference between the knockoffs and the...
Why, they were on sale.
Oh, of course they were.
Do you
wait? I do buy the Oreo cookies now. I do like them.
Yeah, but you don't have any. When was the last time you bought
the knockoffs.
some? Yeah, you got the knockoffs. So do you also buy the store brand drinks too?
Yes, I do that now.
He said doo-doo.
I do. I buy Cokes. I buy the six. I buy the mini Cokes.
Yeah. Well, we've had this discussion before.
The little mini Cokes, about like that. But it's less sugar.
What are they, 8 ounces or something?
No, they're like 6 ounces. They're real small.
They call them mini Cokes.
It's like a V8 can.
But you pay big can prices.
Right.
It's a little bit. No. It's a little bit bigger than a V8 can.
But you pay big can prices.
You are paying big can. You're getting ripped.
Not really.
You think you're getting a deal?
No,
Yeah, they're five. Last time I saw them, they were like $5.99.
I bargain shop.
You could justify it saying, I'm getting less sugar because they're smaller.
No, he likes Pepsi-Cola, which is he's in Coke country, but he likes Pepsi. But he likes the real sugar.
Yeah.
And the sugar content in that is way up there.
Yeah, but it does taste better. The cane sugar does taste better.
They do taste good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And the original, just to add one last little factoid about the original by Post Cereals, Sugar Crisp, the original name, it was changed to Golden Super Crisp in 1985. And by the way, in 1967, actually, that was the first time they changed it to Super Sugar Crisp and then just Golden Crisp in 85. In the 1970s, did you know this? There was a short-lived variation of Sugar Crisp called Super Orange Crisp, which had orange-flavored O's in it.
Ew. Well, did you ever have the?
And it's still called Sugar Crisp in Canada to this day.
I mean, Kellogg's. I don't know how we got on the cereal topic, but Kellogg's had some bizarre brands back growing up. They had Puffa Rice.
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, there's a commercial. Yumma yumma, digga bowl full. You get them big flavor potions of energy.
What did it taste like?
It was basically blown up Rice Krispies with sugar on them.
Oh,
this is actually pretty good 7-Up.
I know. It's 7-Up Zero.
It is. It's actually very good.
Yeah,
it's not much difference in the real 7-Up.
That's correct. It's not.
Well, speaking of cereal, aren't they going to come out with Count Chocula for Halloween?
They already did. They've had that out since like August or something, or end of July. At Target, anyway, yeah. That's my favorite, by the way. What do you like, Frankenberry, Blueberry, or Count Chocula the best, gentlemen?
I like Frankenberry.
Do you have a preference, Tom?
They're all good.
Yeah.
I like the chocolate Count Chocula best.
Yep.
Now, did you see the SNL? I should have pulled the clip on this one. The SNL bit where they were the wokes were firing the Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben's. Then they pulled in Count Chocula and the guy from Allstate. And
the black guy on
Allstate. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Mayhem.
Yeah. No, and it was Dave Chappelle playing the black guy from Allstate.
You mean State Farm Jake?
No.
When you say Allstate, I think of Mayhem.
Yeah, I know
the
you
guy,
do.
and he's white.
But this is before
Allstate
before that Allstate Insurance. And they had the actor, the black actor
from 24.
Yeah,
he's
an actor.
Yes, he has a real deep voice.
Yeah,
yes.
I did a award show with him, and it was one of the hardest award shows I ever did because he couldn't read prompter worth a darn, and every time he flubbed up, I had to throw in a crowd shot or whatever, and it was Dennis Haysbert. That's his name.
It.
And I had to throw in, or my editor Tim Garber had to throw in shots, and believe me, I had a ton of shots. I mean, I had
a whole blooper reel.
I had a whole ton of shots of audience members and people looking or nodding their heads, and we almost used every one of them. And normally you wouldn't use them all, but we had to cover up all of his plubs. So it's crazy.
He was in a Fall Guy, season 5. I digress. But he's been in all sorts
He's a good
of
actor, don't get me wrong, but he can't read a teleprompter worth a darn. Anyway, what's the next question?
Okay, gentlemen, which came first, the Nestle Crunch Bar or Hershey's Krackle Bar with a K, Krackle?
I would say the Crunch Bar, personally.
Al?
Well, being I've never heard of a Crunch Bar, I'll say Crunch Bar too.
You've never heard of a Crunch Bar?
It's a chocolate bar that has Rice Krispies in it.
Yeah.
Has Rice Krispies.
You've heard of it. It's by Nestle. It's in a blue wrapper.
It's called a Crunch Bar?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nestle's Crunch. And then you have the Krackle, which is a red package.
What was the other one?
Krackle or Crunch?
Krackle's made by Hershey.
Right.
Well, Nestle's Crunch, I've had that. I like that.
Okay, well, you said you never heard or had Crunch.
Well, Nestle's Crunch, yeah, I have.
Okay. You mean Krackle. Is that what you mean you haven't heard? Because you said I've never heard of I'm sorry.
Well, it's the chocolate.
confusing you.
It's got like rice or something in it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what we just said. Okay.
There's two versions of it. My question is, which came first, Krackle or Crunch? Just pick one.
I think the Nestle came first because I want to say Hershey copied their candy bar. That's just an opinion.
This a bit of a trick question.
Ooh.
This is the only trick question. I told you this would be easy. I'm not trying to stump anybody here,
no.
but this is kind of informative. The answer is they both came out at the same time in the year 1938, and I did a ton of research, and all the sources say 1938. Obviously one came out before the other, whether it was to the week, to the month, to the day. But here's what I found. In Fullerton, New York, Nestle Crunch was introduced in 1938, the same year as Superman in Action Comics #1, by the way. Let's see, it debuted as the name Dairy Crunch.
I don't remember.
That's what it was called. It was called Dairy Crunch originally.
Well, it's because you weren't alive when it came out.
And that was in the mid-1960s. He was alive. Do you remember Dairy Crunch?
No, I thought you said 1928 or 29.
It came out in 1938 originally.
Yeah.
And you know what? I screwed up. In the UK, it debuted in the mid-1960s as Dairy Crunch. Sorry, United Kingdom. All right, so in the 1990s, the name was changed to just Crunch. And by the way, in 2018, Nestle sold the rights to Crunch to an Italian chocolatier, Ferraro, S.P.A., the maker of Nutella.
Yeah. Do you like Nutella?
Yeah, I like it okay.
And they sold those properties not just for
I
Crunch.
can't eat it all the time. But
they sold it for $6.9 billion.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. To the Italian company. So Hershey's Krackle bar was also introduced in 1938, and it originally had almonds in it in the recipe until 1939, a year later, when peanuts were replacing the walnuts in the formula. And then in 1941, both almonds and peanuts were removed from Krackle, and it was sold as an individual full-size candy bar until 1997, when they just made it in the fun size. What's so fun about a teeny tiny little candy bar? Nothing. But then in 2014, the full-size version of the Krackle bar returned. And by the way, I like in the grocery store, you can get like the giant size candy bars of like Mr. Good Bar, the whole Hershey line for like maybe $1.25. These days with inflation, it's probably over that. But in a movie theater, it'll cost you $5.
Oh, sure would.
But so the answer is it's a tie. There's no definitive answer. As to whether Crunch came first or Krackle.
Well,
both 1938.
Okay, so it was a trick question.
It was a trick question.
I want. Excuse me. I would like to know. I wish we could get Hershey on the phone, because I would call the 800 number if I could, but because they're not. Why did they take the almonds out of the Fifth Avenue bar?
Good question. I love the almonds in those things.
I don't know.
Well, those are like Butterfinger. They will kill your teeth. You got to brush your teeth right away. But the Fifth Avenue bar, that's a good question. The almonds were great in that candy bar. Do you agree, Al?
I love almonds. I like the chocolate covered almonds.
And let's face it, we're in candy season. So, yeah, I know I'm having issues, too. We'll figure it out after the show. It doesn't matter. I can't share it, but we'll share it once we add it to YouTube. Anyway, question number 4, and then we'll wrap the quiz this time, which I'll bring back in a future podcast, maybe not next week. Which came first, guys, Mr. Pibb or Dr. Pepper?
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper, for sure.
You are correct, sir.
Yeah,
it's an easy one. I wanted to give you an easy question. So Dr. Pepper was created in the 1880s. Not the 1980s, the 1880s, by a pharmacist, Charles Alderton, in Waco, Texas.
Yeah.
So in 1885, that's when it was first bottled commercially, and it was it was first nationally marketed in the USA in 1904. That was a long time ago. And it also has a trade secret formula like Coca-Cola has with its Coke product. So let's see.
But you can buy the knockoff brand like Al buys at Walmart, and it tastes almost just like it. What's it called? Thunder Cola?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
I do buy name brand cola. I don't buy knockoff cola.
This is kind of cheesy. Oh, good for you. Yeah, we just talked.
Do you really?
The Doctor and Dr. Pepper. This is so lame.
Yeah.
They put that in there to trick the public into thinking it was healthy. That's why it was named.
And on the bottle had 10,
Dr.
2, and
Pepper.
4.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it did.
I had a little thing, 10, 2, and 4.
No. What does that mean? Do you know?
10, 2, and 4. We could Google it and find out.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But so it was on the. Excuse me. It was on the bottles, right? It was on the bottles, right? Yeah. Okay.
So, all right, the knockoff that Coca-Cola created, Mr. Pibb, which is now called Pibb Extra, was introduced on June 28th, 1972, quite a long ways after Dr. Pepper.
Mm-hmm.
And get this, the original name of it was Peppo. P-E-P-P-O.
That's too much like Pepto-Bismol.
And then it was renamed a couple years later, Mr. Pibb, on June 26th, 1974.
Did your mother ever used to give you milk of magnesia?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Remember how horrible
By Phillips, yeah.
How horrible that stuff tastes.
I still take that.
Like chalk. It was like...
I still take it.
But it makes you gag. How can you take
like
it?
No. Sometimes my stomach gets out of whack and I take it, but I use the cherry flavor.
That's to me. That's like saying the stuff they give you for the colonoscopy tastes great because it's citrus flavor.
You know what really tastes bad is Maalox.
Maalox tastes bad too.
It's awful. It's terrible.
Continue.
So Mr. Pibb, by the way, was renamed Pibb Extra, which I hate that name. They should have kept the branding Mr. Pibb on June 27th, 2001.
That's the Pepsi version of it, right?
No, that's the Coca-Cola, Mr. Pibb.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Pibb was renamed Pibb Extra on June 27th, 2001. And by the way, the original test marketing back in 1972 was in Waco, Texas for Mr. Pibb, which is the same town Dr. Pepper was created in. So those sneaky suits at Coca-Cola went to the same town Dr. Pepper originated in back in the 1800s. So there you go. And then we got one more question, fellas. Coke or Pepsi? Which came first?
Coke.
Al?
Coke.
To both.
Really?
Pepsi was originally developed in 1893 as Brad's Drink.
Wow.
In North Carolina?
In New Bern, North Carolina. Very good.
Yeah.
And it was created by a pharmacist for his drugstore, and the pharmacist's name was Caleb Bradham, hence the name Brad's Drink.
Well, did he get ripped off like the guy who originated the Coca-Cola recipe, and Colonel Sanders who did Kentucky Fried Chicken? He got ripped off. He only sold himself for $1 million.
He did. I saw him on the Tonight Show, I believe, of all places, talking about that. The Colonel. But let's see, where was I at? Okay, so Brad's Drink was renamed Pepsi-Cola in 1898.
Oh.
And by the way, did you know this? Pepsi-Cola was shortened to Pepsi, the name Pepsi, in 1961.
Oh.
Did you know that?
No.
Pepsi-Cola was renamed Pepsi.
Yeah, that's
in
true.
1961. Now, conversely, Coca-Cola was introduced on May 8th, 1886. So there you go. 1885. So just a year later. So Pepsi, according to my research, Pepsi came first.
Wow.
So that's our new game, and I like it.
Have you always liked Pepsi over Coke usually?
No, I used to like Coca-Cola. It all goes back to that formula change from the mid-'80s. It just, I actually, y'all are going to hate me even more than people out there hate me already, but I preferred the new Coke to the classic Coke. I thought it was sweeter. I just have a sweet tooth. It goes back to my grandma's sweet tea. I'm probably going to get diabetes. I'm probably pre-diabetic right now as we speak.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. Look, I shop at Lowe's and not Home Depot. Home Depot was an Atlanta, Georgia company founded here. Coca-Cola was founded here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Lowe's is a North Carolina chain.
I like Lowe's better than Home Depot. You get better help there.
I do too, and they're better to the veterans too.
Right.
So.
And we were talking about candy. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I don't like to fly Delta. See, I'm a bad Georgian, and that's a Georgia founded company, Delta.
Yeah, but they cost too much.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll fly Delta, but I always look at whoever has the cheapest fare, and that's who
even
I go
if it's
with.
Southwest on standby.
Even if it's Southwest. You know, I don't think they have standby anymore. But
you can always fly Frontier.
Not with in the post-COVID world, So I want to hold up for the camera, or maybe you could for me. I brought while we're talking about candy. Is it in frame?
Yeah.
This is the Curly Whirly bar out of England. I had these imported. What this basically is the old Marathon candy bar that was defunct, I think, in 1980.
Yeah.
And this is the exact same thing that Cadbury put out, and I got this imported for free. They come in a 5-pack. Mm-hmm. There's 5 of these that you get, And how I got them for free was, as an Amazon Prime subscriber, I get free shipping from anything I order on Amazon. Ordered that from Amazon UK.
Watch it. I will open it and eat
don't open it. No, I only have 3 left. I've eaten 2 of them. They're delicious. But it's just, what it is, it's braided chocolate and caramel. And it's delicious.
Well, I'm a Prime member.
And how I got them for free is I use my American Express points, because if you pay off your Amex every month, you get points. If it's paid in full. So I just use some of my points. You can use them for Sky Miles, speaking of Delta, or whatever. You know how it works. I mean, you can get free stuff using your Amex points. So I got this entirely free, this 5-pack, including the shipping, thanks to Amazon Prime being a Prime member.
Right.
Anyway, so I just wanted to share that. And then one other, maybe I should let y'all talk, because I do have a little story, but it's not long, but I've been over-talking, and last week you got on me. You said, Chance, you're talking too damn much. So what do you got?
Motor mouth.
Let's go around the room. So,
go ahead. What do you got? I'll kick back and listen to you.
Nothing really.
Oh, you admitted it.
Oh, that's good. No, not really.
Yeah. Well,
you?
Not really.
Yeah.
Well,
you doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Gosh.
All right, I'll just...
We are pathetic.
No, you're not. Listen, you're sleep deprived, Tom. You have an excuse.
I'm yawning like crazy, and I'm trying to stay awake. So.
And Al, I got to compliment you. Yes, I can enunciate for going with the flow.
But we had to talk him into it.
We sprung the Munsters Netflix movie on him without letting him know we were going to watch it before the show.
We came over here early. I thought to myself, I didn't say anything. Why are we going over there so early? And then.
Well, I had a fortune cookie. I went to Panda Express the other day, and I think I got your fortune.
Oh, really? What is it?
I'm trying to find it.
Drum roll.
I tried to bring that thing, and here it is. This is your fortune. A sudden change in plans will test your adaptability.
Oh, okay.
And you passed. You passed it. I thought you would say, "Why did you tell me about this movie? Why aren't we watching a movie?" So this probably. I got your fortune. This is probably my fortune. Let me just open it up and see what fortune. I got 2 fortune cookies.
Now, you're talking about fortune cookies. A guy brought me back 2 fortune cookies from the House of Chan. Have you eaten at the House of Chan?
No, is it any good?
It's all right. But the fortune cookies have sponsorships on them. On the pieces of paper.
What's the fortune
on the
say?
paper? So.
That's interesting.
You try to talk with the words.
I can't read it. You read it. With these 3D glasses on, I can't read it.
Can't read it.
Well, you can take them off.
Go ahead. What's it say, Al?
I think we got our fortune switched.
You are a connoisseur of food and drink.
Well, that's definitely not Al. No, that's not him.
That's me. That's what I'm saying.
That's you.
We got him switched.
Fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Connoisseur of with his
China Moon. Hey, I turned Tom on to China Moon. That's the best. No one will know what we're talking about. But
with his burgers and fries, how many burgers you eat a week?
Oh, that's a good point. Actually,
how many burgers you eat a week?
Yeah, but he eats different burgers.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any difference.
It's not like it does. I mean, it's not like he goes to Burger King every Wednesday.
Fast Food Friday.
Yeah,
just once a week.
So
But lately, it has unfortunately been a little more than that. And he's right. I got to admit it. But I want to give a shout out to Ruby Tuesday because, when we go to lunch, we usually do a lunch before the show. Now, I brought pizza today. And no place has a deal on Sunday, it seems, whether it's Longhorn Steaks. But Ruby Tuesday does. They have a sirloin Sunday special for $10.99 with 2 sides. Wow. Now, unfortunately, there's no Ruby Tuesday near Studio East. There's one near me where I live.
Well, there's one in Loganville.
Great deals. Oh, there is.
There's one in Loganville, so it's not too far.
Our friend Ryan Settles, has been on with us. He lives in Loganville. Anyway.
Yeah, it's not too far from it.
Well, what we need to do, we just need to go to Chance's place and do a show from over there.
Give me that paper. You're just going to rattle that thing till it drives me crazy.
I don't hear it.
Another nostalgic thing, gentlemen. I want to see if you remember this. I never owned one of these. You'll probably know what this is. Philips put out an under-the-dash 45 record player for cars.
Yeah. I never had one. But
I heard they didn't work very well. That's why they were discontinued. You really pretty much had to be parked to have it work properly, because obviously it would skip. And cars back then, they didn't have the suspension systems they have today. Did you guys ever experience one? Did you have a buddy that had one?
Yeah, I had a friend down the street who had a '57 Chevy, and he had one in that, and he liked it.
The only thing I had in my car that was ancient now, it was an 8-track player. I had one of those one time.
Yeah, I had several. I had one stolen out of my Volkswagen, At,
I had
at school.
I had a. It was a Learjet brand of all things. It was in my Volkswagen.
Learjet. I never heard of Learjet.
It was Learjet 8-track player.
Never.
Wow. On the music side, we're all Beatles fans here.
Yep.
But I did not know this fact. I always do research for this show and for the Nostalgic Podblast Facebook group. On Saturday, September 29th, 1984, Prince's single "Let's Go Crazy" hit number 1 on the charts. But Prince also had the number 1 album, Purple Rain, as well as the number 1 movie, Purple Rain. And that had not happened since the Beatles in the 1960s when they had their movies released. I thought that was an interesting fact.
I had one song by Prince I liked, and that was it. Red Corvette.
Little Red Corvette.
Little Red Corvette. I like that song.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
We probably got dinged for the Munster theme song that was played during the trailer.
Did we?
Probably.
Hope not. They'll just mute it.
Well, Universal was kind of bad about that.
Yeah.
I got one little clip I want to play, but I got to cue Tom, not this exact second, but that One More Thing music.
Yeah. Huh?
Or the other one, the Correction Corner, whichever. It doesn't matter.
All right.
Correction Corner!
I do want to correct something. Last time we were talking about how the Beverly Hillbillies are streaming with the original commercials.
Right.
And that's on
what do you mean, the original on the credits?
Yes, right, where you see the Kellogg's.
But they don't have the
sponsors and all.
commercials in the breaks, though. I mean, it's just on the end credits.
But after the opening credits, it continues, and I'll play a little audio. It's like 10 seconds long of that, and that shows the Clampetts driving by a billboard, and on the billboard you'll see the sponsor of the week. And there's a song too. The guys like Scoggins, who did the theme song, they actually wrote music for that.
Oh, wow.
And I'll play a little bit of it in a second. But the correction is this. You know how I talked about how I can't believe how Tubi TV is playing the versions with those original sponsored tags? There's a good reason. Did you know that the first season and a half became public domain? Because Orion, this is interesting, I researched this, Orion Television, the successor to Filmways, neglected to renew the copyrights.
Oh.
As a result, the episodes, all of the first season and most of season 2 had been released on video and DVD, and that's why you saw some of those early episodes on low-budget, independent TV stations, some religious stations and the like. Not lately, but I remember seeing just the black and white early Beverly Hillbillies episodes, and that's why, because they were public domain on low-power television stations, and they were from 16mm prints, just like their versions on Tubi TV. So that explains it. I'm like, why are they airing? And I love it. I mean, I'm complimenting them from doing that, for doing that. But I wanted to play a quick clip of Donna Douglas singing, and this isn't long, and we won't get dinged for this. In a first season episode, it's called this is the first day of spring song, and yes, as we're live, it's fall 2022, but you could be listening to this in spring 2023. So I'm going to play this now. Am I potted up, sir?
Yeah, you're potted up.
I'm going to play just a little bit of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anytime you're ready.
I should be plugged in.
I don't know if you're plugged in or not. Did you plug
I'm plugged in, yeah.
Yeah, it should be playing. Is it playing on your computer?
Yeah, it's not muted.
It's not muted?
Look.
Well, it should be there.
I'm plugging in now. God, we're having all sorts of problems today. I'm plugged in.
Yeah. Well,
Let's
play
see.
it to your speaker then.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You don't want to try to press a button?
I'm got them all up.
Maybe is it not connected over here?
I don't know.
Let's see.
Well, just play it to the speaker.
All right.
Doesn't matter.
I thought this was kind of a cute little song. All right, all right, here we go.
I can hear it fine. You don't have to touch it. That's Ellie Mae, huh?
Mm-hmm. Listen to her country accent. It's almost over.
Isn't she from Georgia?
No, Louisiana.
Louisiana? Oh, okay. I thought she was from Georgia.
There's the gong.
Won't be long till the family
There you go. That's all. And then I did pull. Here's one of the Kellogg sponsors messages. I hope the audio's clear enough. Let me just try to play this.
I remember that.
Yeah, I do.
So I like that little song, but what you wouldn't like was they cut off this has been a Filmways presentation. The Filmways credit is cut off on every single one of them.
Oh.
I don't know why. So the end credits are complete. And what I also like is they show cereal boxes in these prints on Tubi TV.
Yeah.
And the box, like the artwork is so primitive and interesting and cute and like for even cornflakes, Frosted Flakes, Raisin Bran, Rice Krispies. It looks interesting seeing the old boxes right there on camera.
That was Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs. They did the theme song.
Yeah. And I was delighted. I just finished season 1 of the Beverly Hillbillies. Again, this is all way old news. It's over 60 years since the show debuted on CBS, but it's new to me because I'd seen an episode.
I remember
here or there.
as a kid watching it on CBS at night.
Really?
As a kid, yeah. That and the Flintstones and.
Well, I was delighted to see Jim Backus. This is like 2 seasons before the debut of Gilligan's Island. Wow, look at that! Talk about a psychic moment. I thought that was Jim Backus.
No, that's not.
It's
It's Jack Benny for Grape Nuts Flakes.
Oh wow!
It's the whole box. I just haven't put it back together. It's been crushed, but it's the whole box. It's the Jack Benny.
And what year was that?
It was 30s, 1930s, and it's nourishing whole grain. Look, it's nourishing whole grain. It's 12 heaping portions of this tasty 2-grain cereal. Take it from Benny. They're better than any. But anyway, there you go.
That is cool.
You said old box, so
that is cool. I love it. So, did you know Jim Backus played Drysdale's boss in season 1? He was only in 1 episode. It was before Gilligan's Island. And those film prints, by the way, that are on Tubi, that was from Paul Henning, his estate. Oh, really? With the original sponsor tags in there included. And what I loved about that show, you'll agree with this, Tom, I'm sure, and Al, I love the animal tricks they did. Pre-CGI,
yeah.
It was amazing what they did. They showed cats swimming in their cement pond, swimming pool, and all sorts that hold up to this day.
Yes.
I mean, real great tricks. And God bless Donna Douglas. I mean, she had like all sorts of somewhat dangerous animals pawing all over her. And she managed to pull it off.
Was she an animal rights activist in real life, I guess, maybe?
Maybe.
Well, she was big on litigation. Let me tell you, she sued and settled successfully against the Barbie doll company because they created and mass-produced an Ellie Mae doll.
Oh, really?
And mentioned the name Donna Douglas on the packaging without her consent, without compensation. So she said, "Wait a minute!" And also, she went after Disney, and she lost. Actually, she claims that the movie Sister Act was stolen from a screenwriter script that she wrote.
Oh.
And so she went to court, and they were going to settle. And the story is allegedly, she says, no, that's not enough. And then she lost the case, supposedly. So, yeah. And then Hayden Rourke was in a season 1 episode playing a chauffeur. And Hayden Rourke was Dr. Alfred Bellows a few seasons later in NBC in I Dream of Jeannie, of course. And he played a chauffeur. It's just neat to me for seeing these for the first time in order, in the original continuity, seeing these guest stars that went on to do other things as stars of other shows.
We could make such horrible music together.
This is a special Beatles edition of Herman Munster, by the way.
I am a monster. Herman, that is.
I love that.
I love your hands, so cold and clammy.
Let's see if he says.
I am a monster. Herman, that is.
And he says.
You must come over and meet my mummy.
Oh, I didn't mention it.
And meet my mummy.
Green with envy.
Anyway, he says Beatles on it.
I like how in the new Netflix Munsters, how they showed a lot of the Universal monsters. Like there's a Wolfman that looks just like Lon Chaney's Wolfman. They show clips of Universal properties like Woody Woodpecker, because Universal, of course, is the same company that owns, well, now it's Comcast Universal, NBC, that owns the Munsters. And I thought that was cool. And they showed like a cameo from the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
They called him Gilbert, as in the Gill Man.
Well, Gilbert was originally on the series, too.
Yeah.
He was on one show.
I didn't know. See, I have not seen them all, I must admit.
Yeah.
And you played a great clip of a Munsters that was really a sweet scene with Herman Munsters talking about equality.
It was in color.
What?
It was in color, too. Zach Smothers from Pop Culture had colorized it and it looked beautiful. It was gorgeous. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, no. I interrupted you, and I apologize, but I was just saying how I liked there was a speech early on about civil rights where Herman Munster's talking about you played this clip on the show before. He's talking about how it was an analogy between monsters and humans, and obviously it was black and white, the analogy, and I thought that was kind of cool, and they don't get credit or props for that. People, it's the same with Beverly Hillbillies. People like to knock it as a stupid show. No, and I don't think that's fair to say the Munsters was a stupid show.
He was talking to Eddie, but it was stupid in some respects, but the writing was top drawer. And there were some episodes obviously better than others, but that's true with any sitcom show or any show.
Amen.
Period. But
there's some that are better than others.
Yeah.
And Petticoat Junction, of course, was a spin-off of that universe, Hooterville and whatnot. And that started in the 1963 to 64 season when the season 2 of the Beverly Hillbillies debuted. And a sad thing, Tom, is that on Tubi TV, they also have, for the same reason, the first couple seasons of Petticoat Junction, just the first 2 years.
Maybe Benedict.
But right. And I didn't realize, I thought she was playing the same character.
No.
And she's not. She's playing June? No, the owner of the hotel.
No.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. She's playing an entirely different character than Pearl, who is
correct.
Max Baer's character.
And there was crossover episodes where they all got together
for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
But she wasn't part of those episodes because she had already passed away.
Well, and she left the Beverly Hillbillies at the end of season 1 to do Petticoat Junction, but they did bring Pearl back in one episode in season 6 of the Beverly Hillbillies as that character.
And she was the voice of Betty on the Flintstones.
Yes, she was.
Yeah, that's cool.
And she was on Jack Benny's show as one of those operators. And she did a lot of stuff.
I used to love the theme to Petticoat Junction. I just like
good
Junction, Petticoat Junction.
They took it out of the DVD and on streaming. Music writing
had the train, remember?
I know, I loved it too. They show everything with the girls taking a bath in the water tower, but it's just banjo music.
Why did they do that?
Because of music royalties and greed.
I like that. There's a local radio show that is pretty popular on a 50,000 watt. And they use, and there's a Joe, he's a moving kind of slow. And he used that for Biden. And it was funny. Whenever they had a Biden jab or whatever, that's Uncle Joe, he's a moving kind of slow.
I guess the last thing I'll say about Beverly Hillbillies, just to summarize, I'm in the middle of season 2. They had mobile phones in 1962. I didn't know they had that technology. Now it's like it's not
in a suitcase.
It's not a cell phone. Well, yeah, and it'd be like a chauffeur. All you'd see is the receiver, but there'd be a cord. It wasn't cordless. And I guess that goes back to the military. I guess the military's had that technology.
Yeah.
My first TV job, the engineer in North Carolina had a phone in his car. It was a rotary dial phone in his car.
Well, they had mobile operators.
This was...
mobile. That's what they would say. Give me the mobile operator.
This was 1968. But he had a phone in his car?
No, it was expensive. I wonder how expensive it really was. I mean... You could probably Google and find out.
I could, and I was going to play. Donna Douglas actually released a 45, but I won't play it since we're having some issues, and it's probably my fault. But Donna Douglas sang a song, Ellie's Spring Song, a version of what I played in that clip. I'll play it another time because the audio from my thing. And Sharon Tate the ill-fated Sharon Tate was in a season 2 Beverly Hillbillies in a minor speaking role. And I just thought that was amazing to see her. And I'm sure I'll have other surprises. And being a TV historian, I always focused on fantasy and sci-fi, not so much the comedy, except for I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched. What's wrong?
No, it's plugged in.
Okay, well, I'll try to play it, but I don't...
I was just looking to see why it wasn't playing to the board.
It's going now at my end, but I can keep rambling on as you maybe try to get it to go. Look, when I unplug it, there it is.
I'll plug it
back in. It's plugged in now.
There's 2 holes here. Are you plugging it in the right one or the other one?
Yes.
Okay, that's the headphones out. Okay.
I don't know. Well, I'll just let's see. I want to tell you about something else that happened real quick. I know I'm over talking. All right, I rewound it. The other day I was driving, and I'm going around a corner, and I see all these cans in the street. And obviously it fell off the back of a truck or something like that. And one of the cans, it's just like a carbonated drink. It's spraying everywhere. And so I stopped, and there are cars behind me. I stopped. I didn't get out of the car. I just reached down and grabbed 2 of these cans, and it's a beer I'd never heard of called Berry Monkey Beer. Would you hold that up for the camera? I don't know if we're in frame. This is not terribly interesting. It has nothing to do with nostalgia. But look at that. I'm going to try that and see how it's dent. It was just, I just reached out and grabbed the cars behind me didn't honk. They're real patient. I just opened my car door, my little Audi, and grabbed two or three of those cans. And anyway, I've never heard of that. And it is an alcoholic beverage. Have you heard of that? Anyone out there?
I've never heard of it.
Podblast land?
No, never.
I guess I'll just pull out the cord and play just a second of this song. I've got like a retro crush on Donna Douglas.
Victory Brewing Company.
Who?
Victory Brewing Company.
Does it say where they're located?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania?
Yep.
Oh.
So we have a rogue can of beer.
Yeah, I'm going to try it. I'm going to sterilize with rubbing alcohol because it was on the ground. I'm a germaphobe.
Downingtown, Pennsylvania. That's what it says.
All right.
Downingtown.
So that's a 45 from Donna Douglas.
That's a 45. Here, I guess I'll kill it. I just...
So how did it do? I mean, how did it do on the charts?
Let's see. I don't think it did that well, but I'll look it up. I should have had that prepared.
It's just nice.
But it's on YouTube, and there's all sorts of nice images of Donna Douglas in character, and she was a good
just
person.
9.5% alcohol.
How much?
What? It said 9.5%.
Oh,
what does that say? Right there.
All of a sudden, it spews all over me. Oh, yeah, 9.5%. Boy, that can took a hard hit right there.
It did. Like I said, one of them was damaged and was spraying.
So what did you do? Pull off the road and grab it?
Yeah, no, I stopped and just opened my car door, reached down, and grabbed 2 or 3 cans. Yeah. I'm like, what the hell is this? I didn't know if it was soda pop or what. Turns out, no,
it's a sour berry twist.
I won't like it.
Fruity, sour triple ale loaded with raspberries that add just the right balance of sweetness and tang with a smooth finish. It's undeniably very good.
Very good.
It's very good. Victory. Huh?
Well, you could just get it cold and drink it on the air sometime.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you. So she had also another single in 1963, Donna Douglas, He's So Near. Have you heard of that one?
No.
All right. Well, I've not heard that one yet, and it's on the country charts.
Now, she was in the movie Frankie and Johnny with Elvis.
Yes.
And, she did all of her singing there. So she was very popular there for a while.
Yeah.
Just like every starlet or actor or tab hunter or whoever you want to call.
Mm-hmm.
And they have their ups and downs. And once she went down, she kept trying to be Ellie Mae up until the end with the blonde hair. And
as a senior citizen.
As a senior citizen. It didn't look...
When did she pass away? She's been
2015, January 1st, 2015, and she was 29 when Beverly Hillbillies started, and she wound up marrying one of the show's directors.
How old was she when she passed?
And they divorced in 1980.
Wow.
I knew that off the top of my head. I'll just have to look it up. I don't want to misspeak. I think she was 80. The only surviving member is Max Baer.
Go figure.
And he's big and strong, too, and he did really well in the real estate game, but I knew she remembered Jane. I remember she passed away January 1st, 2015, and she was, oh, shucks. Right here. I got it.
You know, Max Baer got
82.
Max Baer got into the adult film industry for a while.
Oh, no.
As a producer and stuff.
Oh. So did Butch Patrick.
Yeah, he did.
Well, on camera, I think. I don't know. I wouldn't want to see it.
I don't know whether he got on camera. I know he was into
Are
that.
you sure?
Yep.
That's true. You confirm that?
I've never heard that, but he was on he was on Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal podcast, and I don't remember them saying that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't remember them talking about that because Gilbert would have jumped all over that.
Yeah, I don't. Where did you hear that?
I've just always heard it.
Well, that maybe was just one of those rumors. So who knows?
Like I thought about Wednesday Addams.
Yeah,
we had a debate early on whether Lisa Loring did. There was another Lisa Loring who apparently did soft, I won't say the word, adult
Now the new movie that's coming out I think it's called Wednesday. That's not Lisa, is it?
Lisa Loring?
Yeah, that's not Lisa Loring.
I don't think so. Let me look it up.
I want to say that's a Disney. I want to say Disney's got their mitts on it, as far as releasing it to the public. I want to say it's a Tim Burton-ish type of thing. So, and maybe Disney, who knows?
And in 1981, they had a Beverly Hillbillies reunion I've not seen. Do you remember that, where they brought them back? It may not have been very good. I don't know, but it was like, yeah, they were.
Well, usually the reunion shows are not very good. Yeah, you're sitting back so far I can't even see.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, the Wild Wild West reunion wasn't bad. The first one they did.
Yeah.
And then more Wild Wild West. The second one was not as good as the first reunion movie.
Yeah, the Green Acres movie was pretty abysmal too.
And the Gilligan's Island reunions.
Yeah.
It was nice to see him get off that damn island.
Yeah, it was
rescue from Gilligan's Island.
Yeah,
but then the third one with the Harlem Globetrotters and Martin Landau was terrible.
Yeah, it's called Let's Make $1, or
NBC.
because they had just enough people watching to where they made $1 or $2. I guess so. Or they wouldn't have made it.
I don't see anything about Max Baer doing adult films, Al. I think we should strike that from the record out of respect to him, because I don't see anything.
Although he did Macon County.
I said I've always heard that.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was true.
He did after the Hillbillies. His big claim to fame was Macon County Line.
Yes, that's right.
He was one of the producers or whatever with that.
I think Jan Michael Vincent was in that movie. Wasn't he?
I don't remember.
He wrote and produced it. Macon County Line in 1974.
Maybe he wasn't in there. He was in White Line Fever, another movie like that.
You might be thinking of Sly Stallone. He did soft adult stuff before he made it big. Is that what you're thinking of? I don't know.
I wouldn't want to see that anyway.
And that's well known and provable.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
How long have we gone?
Well, it's been fun. Yeah, I was going to say we've gone almost 2 hours.
Okay.
So we need to think about wrapping it up and calling it a day so I can go to bed and go sleep.
Yeah, you need some sleep. And we'll get the heck out of here. And I'll add this to our YouTube platforms, and then I'll share it out like I would have done today. We'll talk after the show. I had some problems here. That'll work.
Yeah, I don't know why we had the issues, but I shared it on Basil Chesterman, and I shared it on this Basil's Nostalgic. That's somebody going to the door. Oh, wait, sorry. That happened last week, too. So I don't know what happened there. So we'll have to figure it out.
Oh, final thought. In 1985, Max Baer began investing in the gambling industry.
Oh, really? Oh, that's right. I remember him talking about that on the Gilbert show. Yeah, if you get a chance, some of the classic Gilbert Gottfried shows are.
They were great.
They got some great
shows.
Guests on
totally
on it. And
number one show, 1962, 63, 64, and it rated highly up until the end when some jerk at CBS got rid of all the rural shows like Green Acres, including Hogan's Heroes, that was still doing well, which wasn't a rural show.
No,
they got rid of Hee Haw.
Yeah, Batman knocked Munsters off the air, so that's the way it goes.
It sure did.
So I want to leave you with a clip of you ever heard of Ron White?
Yeah,
he's kind of funny.
Well, here's a bit that's pretty funny that has to do, let's just say, with hurricanes, which is sad. I probably shouldn't play this. I'm going to play it anyway. Enjoy it, and then we'll come back and say goodbye.
But anyway, they evacuate the Keys, and everybody leaves except for one guy who's going to stay there and tie himself to a tree on the beach to prove a point. And the point was, he said that at 53 years of age, he was in good enough physical condition to withstand the wind and the rain from a Force 3 hurricane. All right. Let me explain something to you. It isn't that the wind is blowing. It's what the wind is blowing. If you get hit with a Volvo, it doesn't really matter how many sit-ups you did that morning.
I figured you know. Whoops,
he's got the funniest eyes.
Yeah, he
was a little person.
He was a midget.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like this little toboggan he had on too.
Toboggan. All right. Well, it's been fun. And
It's been a fun weekend with you guys. I really enjoyed the Spook show and today.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom, you get some rest, man. You've been working hard at
I'll try.
At we'll just say WC.
Yeah, at
a big national television cable station and streaming station on apps and Sling and all that. Yeah.
So y'all be careful out there. Be nice to yourselves, all that sort of stuff. And we will see you around the corner. We'll see you next time, God willing, and the creek don't rise.
Chance we made it through.
The wish is granted. Long live John Day.
Be sure and tell them Large Marge sent ya.
And good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are.
It's good to be the king.